So in Bolivia, they really like jaguars and pumas, I'm pretty sure. And so we're gonna make a little jaguar or puma today. We're kind of gonna be inspired by the historic ones that they had at Tiwanaku. We're gonna make this little jaguar guy. And the first thing that we're gonna do is take your cube, and see how he's in a cone shape? And his face was actually made by folding the tip of the cone down. So that's what we're gonna do first, is we're gonna take your block of clay, and you're gonna start rolling a coil, kind of like making a snake, only you want the bottom to stay fat. And so notice that I'm have my hand turned at an angle, and I am putting more pressure on the left side. Now I can tap him, get him nice and flat. He's a little wonky back here, so I'm gonna roll him a little more and even that out. Actually, I think I'm gonna make him a little bit longer. So I've got a nice tall cone, and I'm gonna look at it and see, you know, which is the better side. This one's a little smoother, so I'm gonna fold this one down this way to make his face. And I'm just gonna use a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of water and put it on my finger, and you can see it's really not that much water because you can't even tell I had any anymore. And I'm gonna smooth it down. You don't want to use too much water in clay, but a little is really helpful. So now he needs ears, eyes, and a little nose. So I'm going to take a little extra clay and get some smaller pieces off for the ears. I'm gonna roll a ball, and this is probably big enough for 2 ears. So remember, when you're adding things on to clay, you can't just stick it there like that. You have to score and slip. And so we do this poem, and it goes like this. Scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines, and I'm gonna carve my lines into there. And then you're gonna do it on the spot of his head and on the ear. Scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines. Slipping is dipping, and I like it just fine. You're gonna do that. You know, we can also use a toothbrush to add some little teeny tiny lines on there. And I'm gonna stick it there. And then the next part, after scoring is boring and slipping, did I say slipping? Slipping is dipping, and I like it just fine. You're going to do smoothing. Smoothing is soothing. It erases the lines. So you're erasing the line between the ball of clay and the head, and now it looks like it just grew there, like it just grew a little lump, a little ear lump. And I'm gonna try to make a nice little rounded ear there. So now I'm gonna do the other one by starting with my ball. Scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines. Slipping is dipping, and I like it just fine. You can attach that ear. And now smoothing is soothing. It erases the lines. Okay, so now I have ears, I have a face, I need eyeballs and a nose. And I'm just gonna keep doing this process of making little balls. For the eye, though, you can actually, when I make my sphere, you can kind of roll it out like it's a little mini coil a little bit, and slice it in half with your popsicle stick. And then you have I feel like those are huge eyes. So just depending on how big you want your eyes. So I'm just kind of holding it here to test it, and then I'm going to score and slip. Scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines. Slipping is dipping. I like it just fine. Now it is a little trickier to do the last part, which is a really important part. The smoothing is soothing. So you can use a popsicle stick to kind of smooth it down without smashing the whole thing down. And now if you wanted to, you can give it an eyeball hole. I decided not to on this one because I wanted to paint that black. So it's just up to you what you want your little guy to look like. For the nose, I'm gonna make a little ball. This is kind of big, so I'm gonna cut it in half. Scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines. slipping is dipping. I like it just fine. You're going to add a little of the water to both of those. And then the last one, smoothing is soothing. It erases the lines. So again, for the ball, if it's trickier on the nose, you can just use the popsicle stick to kind of smooth it down together. I'm going to do a little mouth where I'm going to use my popsicle stick and just slice it in, kind of like you're just feeding him a little bite of something, and then you're going to pull it out. There, he looks so cute. So we have our little Jaguar Puma head kind of looking more sculptural, and we are going to carve into the front of it with a pattern now using the Loop Sgraffito tool.